I always start my morning with a 5k run and an hour in the gym. At least that's what I think I should be getting round to do eventually. One day. Until then, I'll kickstart my morning with the freshly ground coffee. Don't panic, ladies and gentle germs. We'll get to some scratch building shortly. You can't rush good coffee. With my cup of hot coffee, I head to my man cave. Where it is there, I'll sit for an hour going over emails, perhaps a newspaper, or just to tune out and stare at my cutting mat, trying desperately to think of something to build. Usually it's all of the above, but I always have my music blasting through my headphones, mainly to drown out the obnoxious kids from next door that are always screaming and shouting. Oh look, I even have my own playlist. After an hour, with the coffee racing through my veins, I'm ready to start a build. A used empty washing up bottle is the first thing I find in my bottom drawer, so I'm guessing it's going to be a spaceship build. Now, before all of your eyes start rolling into the back of your heads, there is a reason I want to build a spaceship today. Now, as you may or may not know, or for those who follow the channel, I've started to enter the world of Sculpey clay. I recently made a tree ant figure out of Sculpey for Morrigan's Creations Community Challenge. Not very well, I may add, but that's the process of scratch building, to learn new things. So I decided to build out of Sculpey my own characters. But before we get to that, I need to build them a spaceship. So after making some minor alterations to the bottle and sticking bits on for the engines, I broke out some cardstock, as my American friends say, which to the rest of us is the cardboard you find in the covers of hardback books. Luckily, I didn't have to tear apart my hardback copy of 50 Shades of Grey, and instead I bought some sheets from my local store. And once cut down, I used my world's worst imitation Dremel to sand down the edges until they were smoother than the rock's head. Now, the design of this spaceship was just again something that I just thought of. The back of my mind was just stuck there for a while, and it basically came about because I just wanted to put a layer upon a layer upon a layer of cardboard onto the side of the spaceship, which you'll see at the end. Me being me, needed to know if I could do this technique that I'm doing right now. I used a spray can to just bend the cardboard slightly at an angle so that it would fit the actual bottle, and then use some beads just to stick onto the bottle, and then the cardboard would stick onto the beads, so it was like a little gap in between the plastic and then the first lot of cardboard. I just applied some Mod Podge onto both sides of the cardboard just to give it some strength for when it came to painting, so it wouldn't start to warp and buckle. Then realised once I put the cardboard onto the bottle, I wouldn't be able to paint the actual plastic bottle. So I broke out the USB airbrush and just sprayed the bottle completely black. Once it was all primed and dry, it was ready to stick the cardboard onto the bottle. Now, does anybody remember when they were kids, the ice cream van used to come round the corner and you used to get 2 wafers and a slab of ice cream that you used to put in between the 2 wafers? That's technically what I did here. I made a spaceship that looks like a slab of ice cream with 2 wafers either side of it. Once the cardboard was stuck into place, I had to fill out the gap or the hole in the front of the spaceship with a pencil sharpener. Then I had to make some greeblies for the spaceship, which is a nice little segue into the next part of this video. So let's do a quick deep dive into acrylic powder that I purchased from Green Stuff World. So the acrylic powder is, you just mix it with water, say 3 tablespoons of the powder to 1 part water. 1 stride gives you a tough and resilient ceramic-like finish, and it doesn't smell, which is good. This stuff usually dries in around 30 minutes, but I usually leave it for an hour or so just to make sure. I always like to stir it until it's sort of like a creamy sort of paste. Now the silicone molds are, again, they're from Green Stuff World, but you can buy them from many other hobby stores. This mould is for pipes. I always use a tray as I'm a messy person, and trying to get this stuff off your clothes or your cutting mat is fun. So you just pour the acrylic into the moulds, give it a little shake to pop out any air bubbles, and sit back and relax. So like I said, you've got 30 minutes until this stuff has hardened, so you can sit back, read the newspaper, play Pet Rescue on your mobile phone, watch a bit of TV, or just start another build like I do, waiting for this stuff to dry. What I usually do is just scrape off all the excess acrylic, so you've got a nice flat surface. When you pop it out the mould, it'll be straight and flat, so you can just stick it onto whatever you need to stick it onto. In this jar is the stuff called Blue Stuff. It's a reusable thermoplastic moulding material. So basically you just pop it into some hot water for 5-10 minutes till it's all gooey and soft. So say you've got, I don't know, a pipe that you want to make a copy of. All you do is just press the pipe into this Blue Stuff, make sure it's all nice and tight, and then let it dry. And once it's hardened, take out the pipe that you've put in there, and then you've got an exact replica in the Blue Stuff. Then you can just pour your acrylic resin into there, let the acrylic resin dry, pop it out, and there's your copy. And then if you don't want to use it again, throw the Blue Stuff into some hot water, it'll go all soft and gooey, and then you can make a mould of something else. Easy peasy. And as you can see, all this stuff is now all hardened, so I'm just slowly and carefully prizing the pipe out. There it is. And then using the silicone molds, doing the same process, just slowly pulling everything out, and job's done. And you just repeat the process until you've got enough pipes or pieces or whatever you're going to do for your project. And that's how you use acrylic powder. To the spaceship. As you can see, I've put a load of greeblies on it and used some wings from a different spaceship, and just kit bashed a load of bits and pieces onto it, sprayed it grey, and then I'm going over with a white. And once the white's dried, I'll go over some of the panels and just paint them grey, and then paint the rest of the ship red. So that's it, that's the spaceship sort of almost done. Made a hole in the bottom with a little base so it can stick on the base, so it can look like it's taking off. Then my character's name goes on the side of the ship. His name is Zap. You'll meet him soon, I promise. I just made a quick stencil using some styrene, and then I'm just going to stencil it on just using the airbrush. To hold the stencil in place, I'm just using it's a low tack glue which is called Pritt Stick over here. No idea what it's called in the States. Be interesting to see if it is actually called Pritt Stick over there. So now it's looking too clean as a spaceship, and I want it to look like it was in a race and the head gasket blew and it covered it all in oil. So I break out the spray gun again and just cover it all in black stripes. Don't care where it's going, you just gotta look down and dirty. Wow, is that the time already? Well, it's time for the ship's close-up shots, so it looks like we're going to have to leave Zap's introduction till next week now. So until next week, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Until next week, keep scratching that build, everybody. Wait a second, hold on. I do believe we just got bumped from our big reveal. Pike, call him up and give him a piece of our mind. Yeah, right, will do, boss. No one bumps Zap, Thorn and Pike from their own show. Call him up now.